What was your why as a swimmer?
Wow. We were talking about this at the gym today.
I know.
That's very interesting.
I know.
What was my why? I think it changes. I think change in life is the only constant. So let's start with that. I think my why when I first started swimming was I just loved the water, and not to be like funny, but it was really the only sport that I was like good at.
Yeah.
It was just the one that I was the best at. And then it quickly evolved to, I'm breaking all these records. Like, I want to win. I want to be the best. And then I want to become an Olympian. And then I want to stay on the national team. I think it's like ever evolving. But I think at the end of the day, my why was always the same. And it always reverted back to 5-year-old Elizabeth. I just love the water.
Yeah.
And I know that you have like a different relationship with the water, which I find so refreshing.
Oh, I
too.
find yours refreshing.
But it's cool for people that are listening that are like, what if I like don't like love the water, but the sport is why I do, you know what I mean? I guess you would be able to explain it better, but
yeah, like the way I always use you in my example, because people have always asked me over the last 10 years of like, oh, like, so like how often are you still swimming? And I'm like, not at all. And people are like, most people are like, what? You know?
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, no, here's what makes sense. I was like, I never sought out the water. I was never like, I just enjoy mentally feeling what it's like in the water. I was like, one of my best friends loves the water.
Yeah.
That was her first love. For me, it was just the vehicle to be the best at something. Now, where that gets complicated and where the why gets complicated there is, I think at first it was just like, okay, cool. Like I'm here with my friends and I'm racing. And then once I got that taste, like you mentioned, of winning, and then the affirmation that I got from people winning, I think was a very slippery slope of my why became trying to break records so that people would be like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. Good job. What I felt like as like, this is getting really deep, but like love, right? And so it all became that why. So then when the winning goes away, the why really gets
out of whack.
And so I think now I think I was like that a lot of my career, where it just became like, obviously when I'm winning, it's great. I'm breaking records. But I think where I struggled and it was hard for me to get out of the hole is when I was like, well, then why would anyone want to be around me if I'm losing? And so I think now when I look back at it, and now I'm able to like go for my Olympic trials cut and be back in the sport, is just like, no, like I think my why was to make an impact on the previous generation, like be a trailblazer for certain events. And now like show, hey, like you can be involved in the sport again in a really positive way, and show this next generation that that's how you partner with USA Swimming, that's how you come back into the sport, that's how you provide something that's, you know, going to be inspirational to the youth. And so that was a long-winded way of saying like my why has changed drastically, some unhealthy, some healthy.
Yeah. I mean, but I agree with it. I mean, trust me, when you're talking about having that validation from outside sources, I think everybody that has ever had that enjoys it.
Yeah.
Right?
You're
like,
human.
Yeah. And then, but I think you're right. It becomes an issue when that's where your whole like self-worth is put into that one bucket.
Yes.
And then where do you go from there when you're not on top and you're not winning? I want to ask, why are you coming back to do the 100 breast? Is it to show that next generation?
No, that's less about, I mean, I think the way that I feel like I'm existing in the sport right now is to show the next generation. I think like I left the sport for a while and I don't like how I did that, but it was more for my own like healing. But now I feel like very harmonious with everybody in the sport. I think it's just because I want to go to an Olympic. I want to swim in a football stadium. That seems super sick. 2, I want to go to an Olympic trials and not be stressed out of my mind and just like have fun on deck with all these awesome people.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be really sick to have like my baby watching mom swim. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I just think that like I'm not going to make an Olympic team, but it's the next best thing.
Yeah.
So
I think trials is, and you and I have never experienced a trials where we're not like a favorite.
Right.
Which is such a beautiful thing to have. But I think there is that perspective of I just kind of want to, or you just want to go and like
be
and not have the stress and soak it all up. Because there's really cool stuff at trials. Like there's this whole athlete lounge and there's a lot of amenities that USA Swimming provides for the athletes that maybe somebody like you or I that are like racing event after event, making the team, all that stuff, never get to experience because we're racing every session.
You're just like,
you have tunnel vision. And so it is cool to like know that you're going to be able to get that because you are going to get your 100 breast cup.
like, let's not speak like it's definite.
Well, I'm
trying.
Like I believe in you. I believe in you.
Thank you.
Yes. Is it my turn? Or is it your turn?
Your turn.
God, I know. I can't. I know. Ooh, recruiting for class of 2027 tips for parents and recruits.
It's all you.
Oh, I know it's all me, but it's also not because it's changed so much.
Right, with NIL.
Since I was an athlete and with NIL and all that. Yeah. I mean, I think the number one resounding thing that you can always fall back on during recruiting is being a well-rounded, not just athlete, but person. Makes sense. And I know it sounds like so cliche, but trust me, a coach is looking for teammates, whether you're the best point scorer or the highest point scorer, or you have an amazing GPA, or you have great work ethic, you have awesome leadership qualities. I can't speak right now, but I think all of those things are the sum of an incredible team. And so I don't know what it is that you bring to the table, but make sure that whoever it is that's recruiting you is aware of that, aware of your GPA, aware of your leadership skills, aware of your work ethic, characteristics of yourself. Do you show up on time? All of these things can be made aware without sounding like, I don't know, cocky or whatever uncomfortable feeling it is when you kind of like advocate for yourself. But I think at the end of the day, it's what are you going to provide to that school and why?
Yes.
Would be my biggest advice. You certainly do not need to be the number one recruit in your class. That's fine. If you are, that's also awesome. But every single school is going to want somebody that can supplement their team in a different way. So
yeah,
just make that aware.
Yeah, the fastest swimmer isn't always the best leader.
Definitely not. Definitely not. So that would be my advice.
Yeah, that's great.
Boom. Next up.
Okay. Oh, are you going on a podcast tour?
Tell us.
I mean, that's the dream. I think, looking ahead to, we've now done 2. It's not going to happen this year, but my goal, I think, when we look at 2028, we want to be on a podcast tour. It's just logistically, and then, getting enough excitement around each city, wanting to have enough people come and support and all that. But yeah, I think that's a big goal for the podcast, is there to be a tour.
I love that.
It'd be so fun.
That would be so
cool.
fun.